Howdy, y'all.
What's up, everyone? What's going on?
Another Thursday night, guys. Hope you had an amazing week so far. We're going to try to end the week out strong here. First, we will say, you guys were in here chatting
Early.
early.
Yeah.
Like, we usually got a couple that will show up like 2-3 hours early and throw a couple things out, but you guys were chatting here early. So let's say hi to some people. Christina, thank you for being here tonight. Anna, always like seeing you here. Appreciate you showing up. Rams G, seems like a new name. Welcome in. Deanna, hello. Velvet, always good to see you. Tommy, hello. Sir Bass, welcome in this evening. David, I seen your comment on our video earlier. I think you did okay. I think you didn't do great on the NFT packs, but always hang around. You've seen some really good ones from us. You've seen some really bad ones from us. And usually if it goes one way one time, it'll go the other way the next time. Never ask hello. Sir Bass, I already said hello to you. I'll give you a double hello either way. Charles, hello. Evelyn, good to see you. The Lost. Man, you guys really were chatting it up here. Wayne, hello. Dr. John. Hi, Shy Guy. Randy. Dana again. Christina again. Mr. Movie House. I almost called you Mr. Miracle. I read that really fast, and my eyes are not super great. Barry Near, thank you. 16 months. Appreciate that. Jetman, 16 months. Appreciate that. Guys, welcome this evening. Welcome, everyone. Josh, how are you doing this evening?
Doing well. I mean, it is time to kick off my weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
No work tomorrow?
No work tomorrow. So my weird, normal weekend, my Friday, Saturday off kind of thing.
Yeah, see, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I've got one more day to get through, and then a weekend of work awaits me. But with that being said, guys, I got good news and I got bad news. What should I give them first? The bad news or the good news?
Maybe the bad news.
Okay, Josh, I'm glad you said that because I was going to give them the bad news first because then we can raise everybody's spirit. So bad news is John is not going to be here tonight. They're in the process of their move. They're knee deep in it. I seen, if you guys are following them, you already seen moving trucks, and I can only imagine. I've checked in with John the last couple of days, and then I de-checked. You know what I mean? I've kind of left them alone because I know how it is to move. So we are missing John tonight, but what we are not doing, or what we are going to have, is an amazing guest tonight. We have Sully, the one and only Sully. If you guys collected pre-2020, pre-21, you most likely know Sully already, so I don't even need to introduce him. But I'm going to introduce him either way because he has been a value to me personally. I have been a member of Sully's Twitch community, a paying member, by the way, for almost 2 years now, because his content is that good. I've mentioned him many times in our videos. Actually put a mention, I believe, in today's video as well, because he is a guru with the NFTs, but he's also an OG Funko Pop collector. So we will ask some questions about his collecting, his OG-ness, how it was working at Funko, former marketing manager, I believe, for Funko as well. I know he collects He-Man and Motu Pops, which makes me even love this person even more.
A little bit.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a little extra special. We also got to meet in person a couple times. Very genuine person. And I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of character. So I'm giving him my endorsement, even though we've only met 2 times briefly. I'm giving the endorsement either way. So without further ado, let's bring him on. Mr. Sully, welcomed in to PFO.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Or what did I used to start the Funcast with? What's up, fanatics?
Personally, I started collecting, I started collecting towards the end of 2019. It was probably like mid 2019. Me and the family used to collect mystery minis, probably 2015, 2014. And we didn't really get into like Funko Pops till like 2018 was probably my first one. And I probably only had like 1 or 2 until like 2019. I didn't find out about the Funcast until like you guys stopped doing the Funcast really after I started the YouTube channel, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know what the Funko Shop was until 2020. I didn't even realize you could buy Funko Pops on the Funko Shop, at that point. But give us a little background if
Sure.
people are unaware of, where you're coming from.
Yeah, first of all, I think there has to be a term for people that came on at the beginning of COVID as fans, because I know there was a huge influx of people post my time there. But welcome to everybody. It doesn't matter if you started collecting like I did back in 2011, or if you've been into it for like the last 6 months. I mean, it's the fun is there regardless of when you got into it. I hope everybody's having a good time with it. Like I said, I started in 2011 collecting. I got my first Sully pop, which you can see a few of my items behind me back here. I got my first Sully pop, and that immediately started just this addiction that has been strong since then. I was at the point getting 10 boxes a day delivered to the house as a
We've
fan.
all been there.
Yeah, right. I was hiding them, tried to run home and grab them so the wife wouldn't see them, and put them up, and that it grew so fast. That I had several hundred in just a couple of months. I remember getting Rocky and He-Man, and what were some of the other big ones in those early days? Breaking Bad when it hit. I remember the days before Firefly or Harry Potter when we would just, we would pray that one day those
Pray that it would happen one day.
Right, exactly. And a buddy of mine and I, we both got into it about the same time, and I found out about San Diego Comic-Con that I could actually go as a fan. So I kind of started this whole nerd journey right around that same time I started collecting Funko Pops, and got into it. We started a business together called Nerd Foo, where we would go to cons, whether it was locally in Texas or San Diego, New York, wherever, and we would report on it, and we would do photos on Instagram and Twitter posts, and we had a podcast. And we did some live video, but back in the day it was called Periscope. I don't know if you guys remember before Twitter bought it.
I remember hearing about it. I'll be honest, I did not start Instagram, Facebook, or anything. I started Instagram the day we started YouTube. So 2020 was my first foray into social media, to be honest.
I was like MySpace guy. I was like way back.
The MySpace guy, yeah.
That's why you're still smiling, and Josh and I are a little more hardened by the world. Yeah, we've been doing it longer.
I get it.
But I did that for a while, and by virtue of reporting on Funko and sharing and stuff with people that followed us at that time, I got to know Cameron and Yoko and some of the other team members at Funko that were there at the time. Eventually Hillary, and I found myself, I was working in social media for corporate America, and that job ended, and I was like, "There's only one place I really want to work." I made a list, and I just kept writing Funko. And all my coworkers from before that, I left that job, were like, "That's where you need to be, man." So I sat at home and was trying to get my own businesses started and do my own things. And I kept checking to see if there was a job posting. And right about literally almost the last day that I had money in the bank, and I was like, if it doesn't happen soon, I'm out. I'm just going to go on back to corporate America and do something else. And there was a job posting at Funko for marketing manager. And I applied, and I hit up Cameron, and I was like, "Hey, man, I know we've gotten to be buddies over the years. You think you'd put in a good word for me?" He did. I literally got on a plane, had the interview, came back, accepted the job, sold my house, and moved across the country in 6 weeks.
Wow.
From Texas to Seattle. I was like, no hesitancy at all. I was like, I'm going. This is where I'm supposed to be, you know?
When you have that one thing that you keep writing down and you keep going back to, I mean, really, it's a story that really should be told, because those are the times that you take those risks, you know, especially if you're earlier on in your, in your journey of, your working career. You definitely want to take those risks. If there's people out there, I think there's value to that story for sure.
Oh. Yeah, I told that story quite a few times on different panels and stuff, and I hope it inspired a few people to take those big swings. Whether or not they did, I don't know, but I hope it inspired somebody.
Yeah, I think also with social media, so many times, especially in those days, social media wasn't really a job in every corporation or every company and things like that. But it also, if you think about, you really have to, you want to be a brand and you want someone to be your brand ambassador and be a person that's interacting with fans, especially Funko. They have fans, they have interaction with fans. You have to have someone that knows Funko, has a passion for it, has a passion for nerd stuff, geek stuff, collecting, pop culture, all those kind of things. So I think that's so important to be able to bring that. And I think that was a good thing for Funko to bring you aboard, because you had that passion for it. And I think it showed in when I saw, you do lives and things like that. I think those kind of things really show a difference, but also interacting with fans online. I had friends that worked corporate, like Chipotle, early days of social media and things like that, and they were very engaged with fans. There was a team of 3 or 4 people, and one was East Coast, two were like East Coast, like middle, and then West Coast, and they would like have different time zones where they would take over and interact with fans, but they're always on top of it. They kept that growing, especially those early days of like Twitter and kind of like Facebook as those kind of things where Instagram was just a like small sliver coming through, but all those kind of pieces and the live streaming, the live streaming took over, doing periscopes and all those other platforms.
I mean,
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, I wasn't anywhere near, by the time I went to Funko and worked there for a while, I came into my own. Like before that, I did that stuff, but I never felt like I was the guy, like I really knew what I was doing or owned being able to do lives. I was, to be honest, I was terrified at first. I went to Funko and I was like, I'm gonna try to be in these videos, but I don't know about the internet and people being harsh on YouTube or what. You know what? I'm just gonna do it and let's see what happens. And I'm so glad I did. I mean, it was just, that was where I was supposed to be. And I love my time there. And I really, really did love representing the brand and interacting with people, whether it was online, social media, the videos. But I think I connected the best with people and had the most fun at the conventions. Like I absolutely love being at San Diego. I called it on the ropes because I'd be out there where we had those stanchions keeping people away from the counter. And I would walk out and I would spend every break we had. I'd be there before the booth opened, after it closed, anytime, just talking with people, because I remember it had only been a year or two before I was on the other side. And I was like, this is just, I still can kind of see it in my head, like this is so cool. This is the place to be. This is the collectible. And I absolutely love it. And I knew that people were having those same thoughts. I was like, I want to make it fun for them. And I think that's what Mike has always done. So I really looked at Mike Becker, of course. I really looked at him as a great example of this is the kind of person I want to be. I took a little bit from him, a little bit from Nathan Fillion, who I admire greatly, and was like, I'm going to be those people so that every interaction somebody has when they come up, it's just something they walk away and go, man, I love that company. That was a great experience. I want to collect more than ever now. And I think I had that impact with some people.
Yeah, what's great, I think that they had a lot of foresight. Like what we're talking, it was the early days of really like that brand marketing. You know what I'm saying? Where people were trying, bringing that collectible experience and like having, like Mike Becker, like you said, he does a fantastic job. But to have a team that was connecting with people, because the proto giveaways, like all the, the Funcast, like all of that stuff is so like that's Funko, you know what I mean? Like even if you came on right at the beginning of the COVID times, like I said, I started really collecting seriously in 2019 is when I'm calling myself a collector. Like I started to with the box fulls of stuff, more than just a couple here, a couple there. 2019 was that for me, and the excitement that was behind it was some of that connection, and it's definitely got a little bit lost. And I don't want to turn it into, hey, they screwed up or they did this or they did that, because we are where we're at, and you got to move forward from here. But I think, and I don't know if it's Mike's idea or he's obviously taken a much bigger role. It seems like even over maybe the last 6 to 9 months here. Mm-hmm. I really hope they get back to some form of. I would love to see him bring you back on. I mean I'll be happy to start the petition for it, but they need to have that kind of interaction. I think that. Again, I don't want to take it down a different road, but I think, they left Hillary there, and I'm sorry, I forgot the other.
Hillary and Ashley was there for a while. Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like if you watch Sully enough, I like slip my name. Like my wife, I can't even remember her name sometimes, and I know she's walking. I apologize. Like she knows I'm spacey though, so whatever. But Hillary and Ashley, I think they got kind of put in a bad position where I felt like they were being asked to do something that they probably were not, because I used to see people bag on that all the time, and people do not appreciate. Like, I think you did an amazing job with the Funcast. I'm not saying that just because you're here. I actually truly felt that way, but not everybody can just like it. Listen, I'm the last person that should have ever got in front of a camera at all, because I'm not good at this to this day. And I've been doing this for almost 5 years. With that being said, not everybody can just get up and do this kind of thing and have that like connection that people can relate to and be able to kind of bring you into hobby and want you to be a part of something. And I felt that. I felt it in 2019, even though I wasn't like into like just the social media in general, the photo a day, and stuff that they did, that got me like I was, if you look at my Instagram and you look at the beginning where I was to where my Instagram is now, like you could see, not that I don't have the same passion, but it was different. You know what I mean? I hope to see like maybe some strides back to that. And I feel like I'm seeing this inkling a little bit, maybe with the way that Mike's out there, but man, I would love to see even a little bit more. Cause I think what you said, you hit it on the head. Like I've been able to go to, NYCC one time. I've gone to C2E2 this year. Interacting with people is, and I say it every week here on, this is what I love about the live stream, is interacting with everybody in the chat. And then like the message on Instagram, and I talk to, a ton of people each week. It's my favorite part of it. And I think that goes, it goes a long way when you're collecting with people that have the same kind of passion that you do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in the world that connects us now digitally, and we don't have as many opportunities to meet with people, especially that share the same passions. And I think the conventions, like when I got into them, the first time I went to San Diego, I was in line waiting for Hall H with, I look around, I start talking to people around me and realize that there's a bunch of me. Like, these are my people. This is where I was supposed to be. And I immediately got that bug of, I want to go to as many of these as possible. And I want to meet all the people and have all the fun. And then to get thrown into doing Funko, where I'm in the center of it and people are coming to us. I made so many friends that I still have to this day, from all over the country, all over the world for that matter. And people that come by my streams regularly. I think as a live streamer, I have a unique opportunity, a unique position in that I can put a face with like 80% of the names that come by my stream. I've met them in person. I've talked to them online. I've been I've interacted with so many different podcasts and groups over the years where I feel like I really do have a personal connection. And if I don't, I'm always looking forward to, like, when am I going to get to meet you at a convention? When are we going to go grab a beer, or when are we going to be able to, crack open something at a booth, or do something together, have a burger, whatever, because I think that connection is so important. And I think it was a team effort. I know a lot of people say that, especially athletes, when you interview them and stuff, but it truly was. Like, I took a little bit, like, from those people I said earlier, but also I learned a lot from Yoko. I learned a lot from Cameron. I learned a lot from Hillary and Ashley and Dima. I don't know if you guys remember ever seeing Dima on there. He was our camera guy, but
yes, sir. He had the accent. Am I correct?
Yes. Yeah. He's Russian.
Oh yeah. I definitely heard some of the podcasts. Cause I like I said, I'm a weirdo still. Like, I'll go back. I will find, there used to be 2020, 2021, even into 2022. There was still a couple podcasts, super small, not like what, not like what you guys were doing, but still, and there still is. And I will still turn that stuff on. I love hearing people that talk about something that they're passionate about. That I enjoy that, especially since I'm also passionate about it. It makes it, a little bit easier, but I enjoy that. And I think you're right. I think it's always a team effort. I say it all the time. Like, I'm not great on video. Like, if I had, like, you do an amazing job. I think Josh does an amazing job too on his own. Like, I need somebody here with me. Like,
hard on your own. It's like, that's something I had to teach myself, like, to do. And that's why
it's super hard.
I started on IG Live before I did YouTube. It was when IG Live was kind of starting to take off. It was still a pain in the butt to use, though. Like, not a lot of features into it. But I was like, I'm opening boxes. I'm showing off what I got. Why don't I start doing this? Because I've collected for a long time. And, I remember getting, I have a Marvel collector core from the very beginning. Like,
the
all those
Hulkbuster,
like the Star Wars, box from all these kind of things from the very beginning, because those are my things. I love Star Wars. I love Marvel. I love pop culture and all those pieces. So I've always had Funko, but started picking up probably 2019 or something. I changed jobs. A lot of it had to do with it too. And I got into like more collecting again, because I was doing blogging for almost 8 years under Professor Josh. Tech. I was doing a lot of tech stuff, a lot of things around educational technology and that, but I changed jobs and I kind of wanted to do something different, something fun I enjoyed. And like you said too, you work in the corporate world, like that's what I did for work. That's what I did after work. That's what I travel. I love traveling to conferences. I used to go to South by Southwest EDU every year, like for 6-7 years in a row I went to South by Southwest, EDU, and then a couple times I got to go stay for South by Southwest. All those kind of things I love, because I love meeting people. I love presenting. I used to do a lot of presentations and stuff like that and talk about it. I'm the geek of technology. Like that's my thing, is like checking out the new gadgets, apps, and stuff like that. But it's also, then I was like, I want to do something fun. I want to do something myself. And I think that's, where I think, you know, I did it myself on IG Live, and you had to do it yourself, and you only had an hour. I think that's what it was. It was limited to like 1 hour.
Capped.
Yeah, you would have to
Yeah.
restart.
That was it. That's all you
Mhm.
could do, which was cool. I was like, okay, every Monday night, I'm going to do an hour of this. And then I was like, and I was starting to talk to John, and I think Vince was, doing YouTube already before John and I joined. But we were like, let's start this YouTube thing and let's go. And but it is, I used to do a live every week. Every Monday, I would do my own live. Then we started doing PFO live, and then we started, and it was almost like too much, so I cut back on like my personal live, and like, okay, I'll put out videos instead. And then we've done PFO for 3.5 years. October, I think it'll be 4 years.
Kudos.
Every
Yeah.
Thursday night almost. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I love those kind of weekly live shows. I've done several over the years, and when I did Nerd Foo, we recorded in the matter of the 5 years that we did it, recorded over 300 episodes of our podcast. We were religious about every Tuesday we get to, or no, every Wednesday, because I would go to the comic book store, buy the new comics, the new pops, and then roll into my buddy's house, and we would do that Periscope and show stuff off and record. And I love that when you have that kind of consistency, gives people something to look forward to and a reason to be there. Like I'm sure many of these names that I'm learning in the chat right now are guys or people that are here regularly, and it makes it so fun to, like, for my streams now, I turn it on and I know I can count on seeing 5 or 6 names that are there right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it kind of encourages me and gets me going. Cause there are days where I'm like, do I really feel it today? Like, do I have the energy? And I'll get in there, and that gives me the energy to see the folks coming in and the same names.
It's funny though too. It's like, I used to, back a little longer ago, Thursday night would be the night I'd go to the pub and hang out with my friends, that kind of thing. But then it just changed, and evolution changed, and then we started this channel. It was really during COVID too, so a lot of people also were bored and at home, and we were like, it was a great way to connect with people, and we never met each other in person. We just started doing this. I don't remember. I think it was almost a year and a half. Maybe I met finally Vince and Bree.
Yeah, me and you met
came to Disney
in person. Yeah.
Oh, I live in Orlando, so they came to Disney. It was like,
actually, I think I
yeah.
actually met Sully before I met John, if you believe that or not. I'm pretty sure that I got to meet Sully before I got to meet John. So
it's been
you're right.
3-4 years now since we first met. 3.
Yeah. It was probably 3. We met twice, so I think it was probably 3 and 4. Maybe 2 or 3. The years fly like
they do
super fast.
Because
I mean, when you think back to the beginning of COVID and like where we're at now, man, like when I say it's a different world, it's just, it seems like it was 10 years ago. It feels like it was a long time ago, but really in a blink of an eye, we're kind of past it. But I think to piggyback kind of what you were saying, Sully, seeing the same names show up week after week is, and I think that consistency, it builds, and we say it on here a lot, and like some of these people have probably already heard this like a million times, but it builds the community. You know what I mean? Build a community that people want to be a part of. And I think like what Funko was doing with the Funcast and having like that social media, aspect, I think that's what it's all about. You got to have that community. You got to have that place that people feel like they're welcomed in at. I know you stress it on the Twitch streams, guys. Again, I already said this at the beginning, but check Sully out on Twitch. You will enjoy every stream. Even if you're not 100% in the NFTs, like, it gives you another avenue of just connecting with other people that are like-minded. It might be a different kind of collector. Not everybody probably in your stream is 100% into, Funko Pops. It could be, designer toys. It can be just the NFTs. But we all kind of come together on that same vein of, wanting to kind of belong to something that we can be passionate about, share a passion, like what you were saying. I see a lot of the names that are in here that have had like personal conversations with like They've told me what's going on in their life, and I share, stuff back with them. And I can call a lot of these people friends. Like, they support us, not just by showing up. They'll show up to, our charity events. Like, we just had an amazing charity event a couple weeks back. Josh does stuff for charity. John raised $20,000 for Toys for Tots last year. I know you do the same thing, Sully, which we'll definitely touch on tonight as well. But it's kind of what it's all about for us. And I think you're kind of, we're really on the same page as far as all that goes. I think that we are trying to do everything kind of the right way, and really the fun way. You build a community and you have a good time, and then they bring you up on those days you don't feel like going live, because there's days that, like, I mean, I don't care. I share this stuff with people. I love that little thumb. Every time I see that thumb come out, I don't know why it does that on my anyway. Sorry, squirrel. But no, seriously, like, every day that you have that, it's like, me and Brie have done it before. We've gotten in the craziness of our lives and the kids having stuff, and we're gone for the weekend, and we're coming back with another, soccer trip and another dance trip. We still have gotten videos out every single week, even in times that we didn't want to, because we feel like we're letting our community, our people that are here, not just, supporting with dollars, but even just supporting with their time, because their time is something that is more valuable than any dollar amount. It's time is something you never get back, no matter how hard you work, no matter who you are, how much money you have, what you have in the bank account, how many pops you have on your wall. Your time is the most valuable thing. So people that share that with us, man, we have such a connection. I feel responsible, like I'm sure that you do, and I know Josh does and John does as well, that we are there for each other. They're there for us as much as we're there for them. So I think it's a beautiful thing to kind of be a part of, for sure.
For me, the end of my time at Funko, because of COVID, that they let most of us go, and
Right.
that was a blow, man. That really hurt, because I love that job so much. But also in my personal life with COVID and my ex, I was going through a lot of stuff, and I had a real dip emotionally and with my mental health that I didn't talk about on stream. I feel much more comfortable talking about it now that I've kind of gotten past most of it. But at the beginning of COVID, that hit me hard, and my therapy at that time, before I actually saw a therapist, was getting on stream. I would have days where I just couldn't pick myself up off the carpet, and I somehow, some way, got in front of the camera, turned it on, put a smile on my face, got my G Fuel, and went. And 4, 5, sometimes I had streams that went 17 hours would go by, and I'd be like, "This is where I feel whole with my people." All talking about our toys, our collectibles, gaming, whatever we're into. I played a lot of Animal Crossing. I regret it now, but I did at the time. Played a lot of Animal Crossing. But we had a good time, and it was my escape. And then I would go back to, that struggle, but slowly but surely got better. And then the world came back, and it has changed a lot. My life is completely different than it was at the end of that time, right before COVID. And I'm happy for it. But at the same time, I do miss working at Funko. I had such a blast there, and I always felt like that's where I was supposed to be. And unfortunately, it didn't work out to go back. But never say never. You never know what Mike might do, what Funko might do. Like, I'm still a fan. I still watch closely. I have a lot of opinions. If anybody comes by my streams, I try to keep it positive, but sometimes, the reality of it all kicks in a little bit too. And I don't stray from it. I don't avoid it. I'll have those conversations and talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, we're right there with you. I mean, we love it, and we keep everything positive, but we don't love everything. And I don't think, and I know when me and John talk, and I've said this to Josh before as well, but I always say, don't surround yourself with people that only agree with you. If you only surround yourself with people that agree with you, you will not grow as a human being. You will not grow as a collector. You will not grow as anything. Embrace the people that have the opposite opinion of you, quite honestly, because discussion is how we get anywhere. You know what I mean? That's really what kind of has to happen. And, so, I mean, that's kind of why I said it, because I think, like, for me, the biggest piece that's missing, I feel like when they made the statement, they were going to, that Funko was going to try to get back to, a startup company. I really do. And with seeing the way that Mike has really pushed himself in there even more, especially since maybe Brian left, like, he's really pushed himself out there.
Yeah.
He's still only one person. And man, like, if you see, and I know you've seen it before, and I've seen him at C2E2, like, the amount that he's just running from person to person, signing autographs for everybody, having interactions. We got a beautiful interaction. He gave us a prototype we were able to auction off for the charity as well, just because he heard that we were doing a charity. It wasn't like he had a clue who we were, because I know for a fact he probably had no clue who we were at all. But like, that says something, you know what I mean? And that's really where I'd love to see this company get back to. Love to see them bring you back on, because I think you did an amazing job. And, you know, I think the way you have backed the NFTs, you know, and I think you're a pretty big, you know, we're realists. We're realists, but we could do it in a positive way. I think there's a way you can be, you know, a critic in a negative way. And I think there's a way you could be a critic in a, you know, a constructive way. I don't even want to say a positive way, just in a constructive way. Because, you know, not everything that a company is going to do. Because listen, every company messes up. I love Taco Bell. They took away the Mexican pizza. Like, what? Thank God they
brought it back.
They brought it back. Funko, Taco Bell. Listen, Taco Bell's successful. I'm not saying Funko's not. I'm just saying they brought it back. They brought back the Mexican pizza. You don't understand what I'm saying.
I would be Funko's Mexican pizza.
I love Mexican pizza. I'd also like to see some other things maybe come back, and you know, Funko can do some of that stuff. But we don't have to talk about all that all night. Like, I like some synergy here. I think that we're all kind of looking at the same thing. Now, as far as your collecting habits go, I know you're huge into the NFTs right now.
Yeah.
Are you picking up anything other than NFTs? Do you purchase other pops? Or are you going NFTs because you want the limited stuff right now?
Well, I mean, there's a few parts to that for sure. Like, I did have to back off on collecting just because of funds, you know, not having a full-time job with benefits and stuff, relying on full-time streaming and content creation definitely changed my income. And I wanted to focus on what can make good content. And the NFTs came along at the right time for me, because I've always been accepting of that idea. Like, I started collecting digital Topps cards back in like late 2000s, the E-Tops. You remember those?
I had the E-Tops. You know what? I got some of the redeemable, because let's 2 seconds into E-Tops. Yeah. You could actually redeem them if you wanted to. They had it, but they gave you some kind of incentive, and I don't remember what it was. But if you left it in there, there was an incentive for it. But if you redeemed them, because I know I still have some over there that I've redeemed. There's probably other ones I totally forgot about, and I can't log in anymore. But I love the E-Tops as well.
I mean, that when I first saw that and read about it, I was like, I love this idea of we're moving into, and I've heard it put in very good ways in other podcasts. We're not replacing our physical collectibles.
No.
With the digital collecting and the NFTs it can augment, enhance, add to our physical collectibles. And I actually listened to a podcast the other day about a young lady started a company. She's working with Bratz dolls and NFTs, and she said they had an aha moment where they gave the app to the kids where you could see the digital figure wherever you pointed the camera, and that girl started interacting the digital with her physical Bratz dolls. And she goes, "This is the future." And I'm like, yes, like this woman gets it. And I've heard conversations about how kids are accepting of things like Fortnite skins and Roblox.
What they spend all their money on.
I'll get it out. Yeah.
All the game. I mean, that's what I have a 17-year-old son.
There you go.
That's what he asked for. When he asks for money, he doesn't go out and buy a bunch of stuff. He just wants, more, V-Bucks or more stuff for one of his other games or something else he's playing. Something he's playing. But also, we do the same thing. We play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
We play with them, and we play with our friends and their other kids that are teenagers too. We have fun. We go out, and the great thing about that is it's one of the few things that you can go out and actually interact with people and leave the house kind of thing, other than sitting in your house interacting with people. But a couple of friends play like Clash and stuff like that, and I think all of us don't mind spending some money on it because it's still entertainment, it's still something to do. It's digital, you don't have it. But I will say, going back to the NFT thing, Shannon and I just opened a whole box of the Funko
the physical cards.
The physical card.
Oh yeah, the Marvel ones, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, now I have a whole
You hate it, right, Jeff?
You have to go through, and that's kind of why I like NFT too, because I was a basketball, baseball collector. I had Magic the Gathering, I have the stuff from the early, 90s and that still in my closet, those kind of things. So it's like, but it's also, that's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
you just keep getting more and more. And that's kind of the nice thing about these. And then having that digital aspect where, really, well, 1 cent card, like if you had a 1 cent physical card, it's not going to make you any money,
I have a lot of 1 cent cards that I'm willing to give away like for free at this point, sitting in my room as well. I
get them out. Yeah.
It's kind of funny because like, and I've said it on here before, like my adult self would like if my 12-year-old self would slap my adult self for even saying that I prefer the digital stuff at this point, just because it's got all the fun, it's the fun part of collecting sets, collecting the cards, looking at the animations on it. Like I don't do it just for the physical redeemables. It's a huge part. Like would I have like gone into it as much as I have and spent as much? Absolutely not without the physicals. But do I still appreciate and enjoy just the collecting part of that? Man, I do. I think it's a great combination of of kind of all that, really.
Yeah, I think when Funko got into it, I had just heard about NFTs and I was kind of intrigued by it. But as soon as they announced they were going down that road, I was like, at that time, I was just playing video games and talking, doing giveaways and stuff on my streams, which were only Twitch at the time. And then when they announced that, I was like, here's an opportunity. Like I think Daniel just said, I'm interested in the NFTs, but it's like a different language. It is exactly that. And when they announced that, I was like, this is a language I want to learn. And the best way I think to learn is let's jump on Twitch. Let's look at it together. I would have anywhere from 50 to 100 people watching at any time. And they would ask questions. And I'd be like, well, I don't know. Let's figure it out. So we'd go in and we'd learn. And we even started, kind of theorizing like, oh, well, if Funko did this, it would be much cooler. Like, I wish we had a tool that did this. And along came Poppin Stock, who watched and was like, oh, I have this tool. Let's be friends. And, oh, you have an idea. Let me implement it. And we've made a lot of friendships along the way. Chain Champs, Jasp over there. I've gotten to know him a little bit, and he's been building tools and listening to me. We'll have conversations off stream and on stream. And it became its own other community. At the same time, there was a lot of negativity around it at the beginning. And so I had to build up a thick skin, which I'm not good at. I take every comment very seriously and very, very emotionally. Sometimes it weighs on me for a long time when somebody gets angry about something and I want to help them, but they're not willing to listen.
Right.
But anyway, I take it all seriously and I really try to help people. And for Daniel and anybody else, now my streams since that time have slowly but surely modded over, converted over to becoming 80% NFT conversations, and then Fortnite and giveaways and other stuff kind of mingled in. But I love this language. I love that Daniel said that because it does really resonate with me. I love this NFT language, and it's allowed me to get back into doing art, which I'd never considered myself an artist as an adult. But now I'm in Procreate and Illustrator and Photoshop and After Effects like 10 to 20 hours a week designing my own NFTs. And that was to facilitate the learning process. Like, how can I learn? The best way is to jump in. So I started making my own NFTs and giving those away and chatting with people and making other connections that way. Anyway, it's turned into a whole thing. And I just love when somebody new comes along and says, hey, I've been interested in the Funko NFTs. Can you help me through it? Like that. I feel that fill up my meter. I'm like, oh, let's go. Like, if somebody new here, I can't wait to teach you all about it. Like, ask your questions. And then people are all like, well, I don't want to ask a question you've been asked 1,000 times. Oh, no, do it. Ask that question for the 1,001st time. I don't care. Let's go. I want to help everybody because, and I certainly don't ever want it to seem like I'm dogging on Funko. I have to preface that all the time because people take things out of context, but they are lacking that arm of the company that does training and education. And had I still been there, I know I would have been like, let me do this. Like, this is my thing. Let me be the guy that's in charge of that. Whether it's just the on-screen stuff and the education, or that I want to help you develop even cooler ways for people to collect and hold and utility and all the stuff that comes with NFTs. I think they're getting there. They're evolving and changing this year. And like you said, we were before the show, there seems to be a really good wave of positivity and intrigue and willingness that's coming across the NFTs now. And it really has allowed me to just go, okay, I don't have to be quite as defensive as I was there for a while. I don't have to worry about everybody coming into the chat to I think they're going to, say something horrible to me and I'm going to have to deal with the fallout emotionally of that.
Right.
Now people come in and I'm like, oh, you don't know about him? I'd love to educate you. And, some people still don't want to partake. But I think there's more positivity now, and those negative, angry voices are starting to get drowned out little bit by little bit. And I think that's a really good thing.
I think that they are, like Drop and, whatever part Funko is playing it, I think they are listening. They're listening to somebody out there, because they're definitely making changes and they're trying to improve. Something like this, I don't think they're going to get it right out of the gate. We didn't get the damage. Would you see damage? I would see damage, and I think that certain people would latch onto that. And then, it was easy to, when you don't understand something, and this just goes to society. When you don't understand something, it's easier to hate it than try to learn about something, right? Like, it's just always the case with anything. I don't understand it. It's bad, and that's what a lot of, we still get comments every once in a while. I'm unsubscribing because you support NFTs, which I don't understand. But that's fine. I'm okay with it because we enjoy it. And if you don't understand that, or can't enjoy that we enjoy something, that maybe you don't understand, I think that's sad. I think, if you don't understand it, watch a couple. Like I've seen our own chat, not that people were in a negative way, but just saying, I'm never going to get into it. I don't understand it. I've seen those same people post all kinds of stuff now in the opposite direction, because they pulled some of the redeemables. They understand, like with what Poppin Stock has done. Chain Champs makes it super fun on drop days. And guys, I'm just going to say, I'll say it again. And like Sully did not say it. You got to mention me to follow me 15 times or I'm not coming on. He didn't say that. So I'm doing this of my own volition, but you need to be following. So like, and I'll just be honest, like a lot of people reach out to me and I go, I've got a perfect person for that question. And I send them your way. I know Monster Pete's on YouTube all the time.
Oh yeah.
He started following. I'm pretty sure he saw that we had mentioned you in a video. And like, I know he's all in, and there's many other people that are starting to become, in a more positive way. And, you're starting to see that, like you said, some of the negativity get drummed out a little bit, and it's still not going to be for everybody. And I don't expect, and it shouldn't really, nothing should be for everyone. It's okay. Like, enjoy the parts that, of whatever collecting. I love that we're getting all the limited stuff that we are now, because I think there is probably a lot of overproduction in other areas. And this makes it fun that have the stuff that's available to everybody. That's beautiful. Like I still enjoy that. That should still be around, and people should have easy access to that. And then let people that enjoy this, let's enjoy it. Let's open packs together. Let's learn together. And I kind of lost my train, but what I was saying with Poppin Stock and with Chain Champs, they're making it to even be more fun. Really having all those extra tools, you really can start to take some deep dives, but you make it as complicated as you want or as simple as you want. And, it can be a really, fun experience. I think if you guys try it.
Yeah, I think open-mindedness is key for sure. And a lot of the people in my streams, the ones that chat regularly, are the ones that were willing to take a chance. And I've got people from all walks of life that I'm friends with that are in there regularly, whether they're in their early 20s and they've been into digital their whole life, or they're in their 60s. And this whole digital thing for them is like, I don't know. But Sully, if you will learn about it and you'll answer my questions and you'll be there when I have one, I'm going to try it. And some of those folks have become hardcore NFT collectors, and they're helping other people in the community learn, and they're answering questions before I can even get to them. Because like your chat right now, I'm reading at the same time. I love it. I'm seeing some of my names from my crew interacting with y'all's, and they're already helping. I see a question come up, and your guys are helping, and so are mine. I think we have a really good overlap in communities. But going back to your question earlier, you were asking, why am I only into NFTs now? Am I collecting anything else? I think that new language of the NFTs kind of re-sparked my interest for everything Funko. Like, I love collecting. My wife now, she'll cringe. I'll say we have 2 bays in our garage that are full of Funko stuff that I've moved from place to place. I moved from Texas to Funko, collected more, moved several times since, and it just, there's thousands of pieces out there that I don't want to part with, but I'm going to have to just to bring in some money, and luckily it's worth something. Now with the NFTs, I mean, I always joke about this. Here's my credentials for anybody that wants to know about NFTs. You know, those are 3 and 4 deep, and I'm getting rid of some stuff and I'm selling, but I'm collecting those NFTs. Like, not only are all the physical ones, I've got over 10,000 in my wallet on drop, and then another bunch on Atomic Hub or my Wax wallet. I love it. I love how I can organize it and look at it, and I can collect it without having to be a stack of loose penny commons.
I'm right there with you. Yep.
Right. But I think there's going to be another wave come where Funko figures out, and those won't be penny NFTs anymore. I talk about it a lot on my stream. I theorize on what they could do. And I know and I'm not trying to say, hey, well, I'm the big guy and what I say they listen to. That's not at all what I'm saying. I just know that Patrick from Token Head Drop has come over before, and he said, hey, I watched your stream and this was right, but this was wrong. So they're paying attention and they're interacting, which is great. I'm glad that he does that. I don't want to say the wrong things, but I keep putting it out there, these ideas, because I hope they'll take them and run with them. I'd like to be a part of it, but if they'll just take the idea and run with it, I'd be happy too. So I think as collectors, as fans, I'll take a little PSA moment. If you're into it, if you enjoy the collecting, don't just sit around and say negative stuff online. There's plenty of people doing that. When you have a good experience, share it. Talk about it. If you have a good idea and you can provide constructive criticism, you hinted at it earlier, share those ideas and those thoughts and your passions and what you think it can be. I know, coming from that other side, if we saw a tweet where somebody was like, love the new soda line, would love to see this, we couldn't comment and go, yeah, we're going to make Batman. It's going to happen, you know. But we would see it and go, oh, run that up the chain. We just saw 100 people ask for Dragon Ball Z today. Run that up the chain. They may not be able to respond or say something, but they're watching and they're listening, and that will influence what they do in the future. But if you go into it with a negative attitude, like there are some content creators out there that are doing nothing but the negativity, they don't have time for that. They don't want that in their heart and their ears either. You know, they want to be positive.
Really, you know, again, criticism is fine if it's done in a constructive way. You know, just hating to hate, you just don't get anywhere. I mean, that conversation kind of ends right there. If you say, hey, I don't like it because, or this is not my kind of thing because, and you give out a reasonable thing that somebody can take back, evaluate, and decide whether there's something that they can do on, you know, because I'll be honest with you, like, especially maybe towards the not even towards the beginning, it's probably been within the last 6 to 8 months here, we received a box that was, I'll be honest, like it was the most damage we ever received. And when we opened it, I'm like, I'm not going to show this. Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm not going to show this because I don't want to feed into like the monster of whatever. And I'm like, you know what? No, it's not right not to show it, you know, and I'm not doing it. Like I'm having this battle in my head while we're like filming a video, and I'm like, should I show it? Should I not show it? And I'm probably like stop talking for a minute or two. And I barely edit any of our videos. If anybody watches, they already know that. But, you know, I ended up showing it, and I said, you know, it really, we hardly ever got any damage. This one was pretty damaged, and it was the new sorters that they did. I felt like they made the attempt, but with the way that those corners were bent in, like every pop was scuffed up. A couple were pretty badly damaged. And then the next round of boxes we got in, we kind of got the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. Should I say something? But I showed them off, and I'm not saying that anybody watched and did anything, but they did eventually. They listened to somebody, or they got enough of the exact same complaints. They started wrapping them with that bubble wrap stuff. And thank God they did that before the Mickey and Friends stuff dropped, because I was really nervous. And you know, just so if you guys are in that, like we're having the NFT conversation at this point, so I'm going to give a little helpful whatever. So on the Mickey and Friends, I ordered him in, you can redeem them how you want it. You could do it 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 3 at a time, 4 at a time, however you want to do. I did them 4 at a time because I thought they would put them, just because I thought they'd put them in a different kind of box. It didn't work out though for me. Well, I'll tell you why it didn't. It's not that it didn't work out. It worked out fine, but they shipped them 3, 3, and 3 because I got 2 sets, and I've said this multiple times here and whatever. So we got 12 total. I think there were 6. So I think we got 12. So we got 3, 3, and 3, but then we got 1, 1, 1, and 1, 3, 6, 9, 1, 1, 1 separately. And they shipped those separately, which I thought was really weird. And then the way that the tracking, like I was freaking out because one of our grails was missing, and I'm like, I'm just going to give it like a day or two. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to start going on social media and blasting anybody because let's see what happened. Lo and behold, everything ended up showing up. But I feel like they're trying to make efforts. They're probably trying to make efforts to get these out because it looked like they were all shipped by, like, one came UPS, one came DHL, one came by another carrier. So they're figuring stuff out. And I'm glad that I hung in there with the ups and, because there's been a little bit of ups and downs, but overall, it's been a pleasant experience. And if you guys get into it, I don't think it, and this is not like we're, I don't want to just say that they don't do anything wrong and like whatever, like it's all always positive, but overall my experience has been really good for, across the board, purchasing the packs, I think have gotten better. I like the way that they raise the limits so you don't have to try to go back in. If you, the amount of packs I feel like have been somewhat reasonable. Sometimes they put too many, but I'm okay with the market determining what the size is going to be of those two. So when they have burns, like I don't necessarily look at it's a failure, and I get the perception behind why they think it's a failure when there's so many burn, but I think that's just the market just saying this is how many of these should be. Yes, you want to make 999 grails. I think there should only be 500 grails of this for whatever reason it's going to be. And I've always been like okay with when they burn. I don't look at it like NFTs are dying and this is awful and the world is burning when that stuff happens. But I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, I mean, I talked about it a lot on my stream, and I have no problem with the burns at all. I think it's an interesting policy, if you will, that they set where they close it off at that day after a few hours. And I'm not sure why, but they're a business, and I'm sure there's a business reason why it makes sense. We may never get that answer, but that's fine. We know the rules of the game, right? So like with the Mickey and Friends, those of us who jumped in and did the USDC thing and got into the drop marketplace early, we are going to benefit in the long run because, and I'll backtrack just a second on a thought here. Funko got out of the exclusivity business for a long time post-COVID. For at least a year or two, they weren't really making low print, low run anything. Right. They became a toy company, and that's not a shot at them. They are a public company. They're publicly traded. They've got to make that bottom line look good so investors buy the stock, right? As a stockholder, I know that. Then the NFTs came along, and that's where the exclusivity is. When I saw those numbered stickers, that's the same tingle in the spine I got when I first held that flocked Sully LE 480, and that's what sparked my beginning down the Funko journey. And I felt that with these, and to really know the story more. And we talk about a lot. What's the actual number? The mini is 470 something pieces, not 999. And it kind of still surprises me to watch that the value in the markets like eBay and Mercari and stuff is so low. But I think that's going to change. Yeah, because there's a lot of people coming into it, and I think every person's journey, they eventually go, okay, I'm putting it together. Lower numbers on a license that people like means bigger dollars. And if I'm going to put my money into this thing, I may love collecting, but I also like the value that I'm going to get in the long run. They're gonna naturally come to where are the real exclusives, and those have become the NFTs over the last 3 years. There are the exceptions at the conventions and a few. The Funko Shop used to be real exclusive. Those are pretty high numbers now because they don't even post them all the time. But that was one of the things that attracted me to it, and I was like, if I'm going to put my money in, I don't have as much anymore. I'm going to go for bang for my buck, and I'm going to put it into the NFTs because it kind of satisfies that feeling that I had as a kid when I collected baseball cards and I'd trade with my friends and go down the checklist and try to complete everything. And we have the royalty bonus, which is I go after that all the time. Yeah. I love that. I love getting the Freddy as whatever. And now we got Franny and Proto in there as well. I just think it's so much fun. And even if I'm on a bad streak right now on packs, I've opened like a dozen premiums in a row with no redeemables. Oh, but I'm still going after it because I'm going to have that Grail high again. I'm chasing that dragon. I'll get there. But I love it, and so I've backed off on collecting the other stuff as much. Now, if they make a Sully, if they make something He-Man, Back to the Future, those are like my core ones. Star Wars will usually get me with some of the stuff. Like I saw Jar Jar yesterday at Target, and I almost bought a common Jar Jar, but I was like, I don't have a Jar Jar in my collection. It would be really cool to have that, even though I've got like 300 Star Wars pops. I never have gotten the original blue box Jar Jar. But anyway, there's still some things I collect. Indiana Jones, I got the cool boulder moment where he's running away. I had to get that. A few of the die cast I've got that I really enjoy. I haven't really gotten out of it completely, but I am pickier on what I choose to spend my dollars on now, just because I have to be.
Yeah, and I think that's just evolution of collecting in general. I mean, listen. I mean, we would have a big collection. If we didn't have a YouTube channel, I don't know if our collection would maybe be as expansive as it is.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be close. It'd probably be close. I mean, I'm trying to make an excuse for myself when people walk down in our basement and they see like 4 walls covered head to toe. I can't wait. We're getting a new furnace in about 2 weeks, and I can't wait to see what these guys say when they come down here and see what's going on. Because, quick side story, we're getting the estimate for it, and we're like, listen, we're just forewarning you. Like, we have a YouTube channel. Everything's okay. Like, we're okay. You're going to go down. He's like, no, I've seen it all. Don't worry, but I've seen it all. He's like, wow, I haven't seen it all. Like, this is not what I expected. I'm like, oh boy, like this is, but I evolution. I mean, the evolution of collecting, I think, like you said, when you come in with boxes and boxes, you have that excitement. Like, and I remember coming in, I got that advice from so many people. I'm like, I'm very particular. I'm only keeping 35 Spider-Man, and I only have 42 Batman. That's it. That's all I'm getting. And then I've realized as time has gone on, I'm like, I don't think I could keep the 42 Batman and, the 35 Spider-Man anymore. So I kept like 5 of each. And I think that's pretty good. But then I started collecting the sets. And the more I collect, the more I like the sets, the more it kind of ties back to the NFT thing. But I think just in general, I think everybody kind of goes through that evolution. And, sometimes it's for one reason, sometimes it's going to be for another reason, but it's kind of it's fun. If you find something, basically you're still looking to pick things up every once in a while if you see something that catches your eye. And I'm kind of the same way. I don't pick up everything anymore, but definitely a little more choosy here and there.
I've been fortunate enough to go to Fun Days every year since 2013 was my first one. And that, for me, if I'm going to have to put some money into anything, I love going to Fun Days and getting that box of fun. Yeah. Not only because I love the Freddy Funko mascot and everything that he cosplays as or becomes, but those rarities, man. For me, if I don't buy 20 pops throughout the year and I can put that towards the ticket for Fun Days, if I'm lucky enough to get one, that's where I want more bang for my buck again. That's where the big excitement is, opening that box of fun. Woo, one of the big highs of the year every year.
It's something that most, especially when you're new to collecting, like I said, I didn't realize there was even really 2020 was that first year of me really opening my eyes to everything that, was possible with that kind of stuff. And you're right. I mean, that's a feeling that, you gotta, if anybody is new enough, because we get new collectors all the time that say, hey, we just started collecting. We watch your guys' videos and now we have 200 pops, and I say sorry, and then after that it's like, you know what, enjoy the ride, because it's a fun journey that you can go on with collecting for sure.
I still love being at a Target or a collectible store or whatever and listening to the inevitable conversations that come when one person is into pops and another one is not, and they'll explain it and talk about it. And I love listening to go, okay, where are they on their journey? Oh, they're still new. Oh no, they've got it. They understand. Like, it's always fun to me to hear. And I always want to jump in and go, oh, guess what? All the things you don't know. But, I'm not going to do that out in public, because then they're going to be like, this guy, get away from me, old gray haired dude.
Yep.
Now, I know you wanted to share something with everyone in the chat tonight, and you were talking about NFTs and kind of creating something special. So I know you created something special here for tonight's stream. So kind of taking the Nerds Unite logo and the PFO logo and make it an NFT. So I'm going to post that in the stream so people can grab it if they're here. But you want to tell us a little bit about it and like how, like, you do this for a lot of your streams, right?
Yeah, one of the things that I really learned early on, and we talked about it, was if I'm going to learn about NFTs and how they work, I really wanted to get into it. So I started doing my own art, my own creativity. Started with real simple stuff. Then I created a mascot that's an owl. Long story there. I'll tell it on my stream sometime to not bore everybody to death. But I eventually landed on this. Hey, Funko does a drop every 2 weeks. There's a theme, whether it's Star Wars or Mickey and Friends or whatever. And it would be really fun if people are going to come by my streams anyway. I would love for them, maybe if they can't afford to buy packs from Funko, or they're learning and they quite want to get all the way in. How about I just give away some free NFTs? So I've gotten into this pattern now almost every single Tuesday. I call it NF Tuesday on my stream. I go live at 11 a.m. Pacific. And if you come by my stream, I'm usually live 3 or 4 hours, and you just fill out a quick form. And then I airdrop an NFT into your wallet. It has to be a wax wallet, not a drop wallet, because that's only for Funko stuff. But I give you that NFT. And then if you want to keep it, great. You want to sell it, do whatever you want. It's yours once I give it to you. I'm not going to judge you if you decide to sell it or whatever. But then I also take that a step further. And the next day, which we're doing for this one, by the way, I'll have blends up, which to many people is a new term. You haven't heard of blends before. Don't worry. We can walk you through it on my stream.
This is the stuff you guys got to like. I'm not even gonna, because that's like next level. I'm gonna let you just continue.
Yeah.
Blends are
that's like the super 200 level course.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
But we do that, and that's an opportunity for you to learn even more and enhance your collection and get something a little more rare. But what I do whenever Funko has those, like they did Scooby-Doo this last Tuesday, right? Duh, everybody knows that. I took the Scooby-Doo logo and I made a logo that says Nerds Unite that looks like the Scooby-Doo logo. And that gives me an opportunity to flex my creative skills in Illustrator and Procreate or wherever I'm working. So this week when you guys asked me to be on, I was like, oh, this can be fun. And I was sitting there today going, can I give away some NFT? Wait a minute. I got a thing I do all the time. Let me do that. I saw your logo and I'm like, let me take that Pop Force one, which by the way, I looked at it 10 times before I saw the FOURCE. Nice job. That was really creative.
I think that was my idea. I'm just saying. I think it was. I don't remember. I did the logo though. So.
Oh, nice job. Well done. So I saw that and I was like, I want to mimic that, but I want to put my Nerds Unite twist on it. And so that's what Josh just showed. And that is, we have that for free for everybody, which I don't know if you guys already shared. And oh, you did. Thank you, Josh. If you guys click on that, you fill out the form. All you got to do is make sure you put your wax address in there. The rest of the information is just so I can track you down if something's wrong. And I'll airdrop that to you tomorrow. And again, do with it as you please. But if you get that in your wallet and you have some time tomorrow afternoon, I'll be streaming starting at 2 p.m. Pacific. Come by and I can show you how you can upgrade that into something else, or you can access it in your wallet, look at other NFTs I've done, whatever. There's some fun games in the NFT space where you can use some of my NFTs and they actually have a little bit of a value to them. Again, I won't go into all the details, but there's a lot more to this world of NFTs than just crack a pack, maybe pull a legendary or a grail, or maybe complete a royalty set that I think in time Funko will get to, but it is a rather complicated discussion. And so what I'm doing is an opportunity to build those stepping stones for everybody to learn more and more. So when Funko evolved and did the ultras and the mythics and stuff like that, my audience was more than prepared to go, oh, okay, we know exactly what to expect. This is going to be easy. We're ready. And when Funko eventually goes, you know what? We got a game coming where you can stake your NFTs. My audience is going to be like, we're ready. Bring it. We're going to be the first ones. We're ready. Let's do this. And everybody else will be like, wait, what now?
I listen, I'm going to be ready. I've learned enough. If you guys look at our wax wallet, it only has, the only stuff I've put in there is all the Funko stuff that I'm selling. Usually we'll, depending on what the set is, I'll usually try to get 2 royalty sets for pretty much anything that I'm really into. Other than that, I'd sell most of the other commons. I'll keep them one of, at least one set is what I kind of try to do. But pretty much everything else is just Sully NFTs. And listen, I'm a proud owner of a 1-of-1 from the Super Bowl squares.
Oh, nice.
I can't remember. I think I've won the first quarter or something like that. So I own a Sully 1-of-1 in my wallet. So yeah, it's definitely, it's part of the fun. And it's a good way to learn. And if you guys don't have any NFTs, you could sign up for a wallet. You can get, this could be your first NFT, your first foray into it. And definitely get, again, I'm doing this again, but guys, if somebody can drop Sully's YouTube channel, or if you guys go to our video today, because I did link it in our description of our video, and I might have done it tonight. Am I that prepared? I don't know. I don't know if I'm that good. Maybe I am. If I did, fantastic. But make sure you guys give him a follow here on YouTube, because you just kind of started YouTube within the last 6 to 8 months, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I my goal was to start creating more pre-recorded content, but I can't get over this. I'll do 4-hour stream live.
Yeah.
But I won't sit in front of the camera and record something that takes 10 minutes and make a short video. I've done a few, like somebody asked about getting USDC into your wallet. I've made a couple videos on that to show you the step-by-step. I'm just a long-winded guy, and shorts for me, I have ideas
all the time.
Yep. You were 2 peas in a pod for sure. Yep. But I want to create more content. In the meantime, I am using the YouTube channel, and it's building slowly but surely, because I do my lives both on Twitch and YouTube. I do multi-streaming, and I try to make sure that I'm watching the chat from both and engaging with people. There's far more fun things to do on the Twitch side that just don't exist on the YouTube side right now. But I think YouTube, if anybody could take over that space, they absolutely could. And it's just a matter of time before they put the effort into it. Yeah, no,
I think that's exactly, and just on the content creation, I totally get where, like, we do the mystery box unboxings for the most part, because, I like the all natural kind of, like, just kind of putting things out there. We do like a, some of the, like, when you're trying to do news and doing that kind of stuff and trying to, like, stick to some kind of a script or do something those are hard. Those take a lot of time. They take a lot of time editing. There's, so I'm kind of for me, it's the interaction too. You know what I mean? Like, you're able to get feedback and do that kind of thing. I enjoy that form of content, even though I do like our long form. The short form stuff, we do a little bit of the shorts too, because I think it's just easier to grow that way on YouTube at this point. I think you almost have to. I don't want to say unfortunately, because we have fun with it. We do silly shorts. Me and my wife do the silly short, so we can make it fun. But yeah, it's almost something you unfortunately have to do. But I think it's like anything, you got to build that habit. It's like building that muscle. You got to just commit to it, and then you got to start doing it. And it's hard. It's hard to just like get in and start building a habit for something that, especially when it's deemed to be a little bit harder. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't come as natural as being able to, just do the kind of content that you enjoy the most.
I'd say my biggest struggle as a content creator, and I never thought this would be the case, was I have all the time in the world. It's up to me to how I want to spend my hours every day, right? And I can sit here and go, okay, I got 400 things on my list I need to do, but I'm my own everything. I do all my ordering. I do my own art, my own creativity, my own online, my own video editing. Everything is all me. And it's really easy for me to go, let me work on this for 10 minutes. Oh, shiny thing over here. Let me go do that. Yeah. Oh, I have art I need to do. Or today I'm going to be on with you guys, and I look at your logo and go, oh, we spent 3 hours working on some art all of a sudden. That wasn't in the plan for today, but I did. And now I got something fun for tomorrow. It drives my wife nuts. She's like, you have some things you need to do. What are you doing over here? Can you get back on track over here?
Oh, yes. I mean, I hate to say it, but like, my wife's in the chat. She already, like, you just described me, and I know she probably wants to do something smart about that, like the crown that I never finished in the bathroom down here and that kind of thing. But yeah, I definitely, you get distracted. It's hard. It's you do the stuff that you enjoy, and you try to put everything else off until the last possible second if you have to. But yeah, no, it's hard. It's hard to get stuff done, especially when you have so much you want to do or accomplish. And I think it's almost harder, when you're kind of your own boss, trying to kind of stick to certain things, because there's probably so many things that you want to do, and it's hard to execute on everything. Especially when they're all good ideas, I'm sure
I need a project manager. Yeah. Before moving in with my now wife, I was living with my good buddy Jungle Bry, who's a content creator as well and a hell of an artist. He has his own NFTs. But I was living with him and his wife, and she is a project manager by trade. And she would listen to us, and she'd go, "You guys desperately you're both artistic and you're all over the place. You need a project manager." Oh, yeah. She in spreadsheets and timing it out and going, today your tasks are to do this, this, and this. And we had a couple of projects we were going to do, and we were going to literally pay her to be our project manager. ironically, we never got around to doing that because we found other things to do. But we had that plan.
That's why
So I know
married my wife.
Bree
Like,
is Vince's project manager. I know that
see,
for sure.
Josh, you know
Because-
too. My wife is my project manager.
If I want to know their Disney plans, I don't ask Vince. I ask Bree.
Why would you do that?
Bree, what's planned for today? Where are you going? What are you guys doing? What's
Josh,
happening?
I asked that same question. I say, where am I going
you
today?
Just show up. You just go. Where are we driving?
In a dream world, I would just come into this area and sit here each day, and somebody would be like, okay, you're going to be live in these hours, and here's what you're talking about. And then I need this piece of art done by this time so we can get all this ready and sell this. You got some new shirts and some pins you're going to sell. Like, if I had that, I'd be banking, but I can't stay focused long enough to get an order in for pins. I've owed people enamel pins for the longest time now, and for some reason, I can't get them ordered. I don't understand the problem.
I wish I could help you, but I relate too much. I definitely relate way too much to that whole thing for sure.
If I come into some money, y'all watch out, because then I'll make some real money. I'm gonna need that money to get going, but then it'll be serious.
Isn't that that's what they say? Money makes money, and so I think that if you can, you would. Hey, that's a sign of a good boss. So you're a good boss. You know what you're good at. You delegate the rest, like keeping you focused. You delegate that to somebody. That it shows that you will be successful. You just find that money first. If you find it, let me know.
Yeah, there you go.
I definitely would like to find that as well. At some
I'm
point.
playing the lottery regularly. Somehow they haven't chosen me yet, but I think it'll come in time. I'll be 85 when it finally happens, but I'll take it. That'd be fine.
That would be the universe, really messing with you. You know what I mean?
Who knows what the future holds. I mean, I have amassed a lot of art that I've created, and I do have plans to use that for some cool stuff. I mean, like this shirt right here, I got printed. It's a one-off that I got from Sticker Mule. I designed this and I was like, that would look great on a shirt. And I did it, and I was like, hey gang, anybody want the shirt? And like 1 million people said yes. Have I made the shirt? No. But the art's ready to go. I just need to make it happen.
Oh man, listen, I'm relating to. I'm actually getting sad because I'm right there with you. Like that is sometimes the hardest thing is just staying focused long enough just to get that done. But you got so much other stuff to do instead.
Yep,
I get it. I totally understand that. So, are you hoping? Is there any NFTs that you like? Like I seen they announced Batman 85th year, I think, just the other day.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That came from Drop. I believe that was
it's an official announcement. I appreciate you not going into leaks.
The leaks forget about because then I get my hopes up and then what good is that? There was the Batman and what was the other one? There's another one for June.
Mickey Afternoon, Disney Afternoon.
That's right.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a Drop exclusive again.
And everything that would be awesome.
It didn't have the logo, which leaves it open for hope, but also they may have just forgotten. They crank that stuff out, and who knows who's doing the graphics. They may have forgotten to add that before they sent the email.
Right.
My gut tells me that Disney put some parameters in place and said, don't talk about NFTs. Digital collectibles, okay. And maybe if you segment it and just put it over here where all the wording says digital collectibles, people won't think we're in NFTs because we don't want to have to deal with the backlash.
Right.
Maybe that wasn't the case. I don't know. But I would like to see that one not be an exclusive just because I think it provides more people the opportunity to get into it and to enjoy it. At the same time, if they make it a Drop exclusive, we may see another burn and some really nice low quantities. And I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, I think.
I mean,
go ahead.
Disney's one that you don't see those low pieces and Disney pieces very often. So when this came, I remember I don't think I bought any packs of the Disney ones when they came out. And I was like talking to Vince. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go. I just want the royalties. I want the royalties, and maybe I'll grab a couple of the others depending on the price. But when I saw the royalty, I'm like, Vince, these royalties they're not going to go above like 800 at the most at this point. I'm like 800 like less than 800 piece Mickey. I mean, and you're going to get it for $80. I mean, give a couple years and that's going to be a $300-$400 pop at least.
Preach.
And we see that all the time. I think Vince and I were talking about, great example of stuff. People think, oh, the limited pieces don't, you'll see them go up eventually. And a great example was the Stranger Things collection, the Stranger Things Freddy's. They all were about, I got all 4 of them, maybe for $500 or something like that from someone, like buying them like the whole batch, $500-$600. Now each one's worth $600 plus.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just 2 years. 2 years difference. They were been out for a little while. People were trying to sell them, and then once they get in hands too, at some point, once they get in certain hands, people don't relieve them as they're part of their collection. They're not just selling them to sell them. Early on with NFTs, there's a lot of people that invested. I know a lot of people that do shows and pop shows, and I've done pop shows. People invest in them just to buy them, to sell them at their shows and things like that. Early on, but I think once they get in the hands of collectors, it's going to really then it's a lot harder. You're going to see less of them on the market. It takes a year or 2, maybe 3.
They start to fall into
It's like a sorting process, like when you put the Flinko or Plinko and you watch the thing go down, like each pop has to go into its landing spot, and then a few will end up in the hands of collectors that'll eventually sell them, or a shop that puts them aside. But one of the things I've really noticed with the NFTs, I've gone to, I don't know, 8 shows, cons, conventions over the last few years, and I have literally only seen maybe 12 to 20 NFT pops at shows total. And that tells me right there that the exclusivity, the rarity of them is real. And it'll catch up over time. It's just a matter of how long. And for me, it's so frustrating because once upon a time, I would have been like, Mickey, I can get that for $80. I'll take 10 of them, please. Like, I knew what I was looking at. I had my most famous investment of all time, the hollowed Darth Vader. I was at Dallas Fan Expo when that went on sale. And at the end of the con, I walked up to, it was Toy Matrix was the booth that was selling it at the convention. And he had a ton of them left. And I was like, those are 15 a piece. He goes, yeah. I was like, would you go lower? He goes, oh, well, make me an offer. I was like, how about 10 for $100? And he said, okay. I've sold 2 at over $1,000.
Oh, that is,
and I'm still sitting on some.
God,
I knew.
I was buying mystery minis back then. What was I doing? Gosh.
And you see some of these companies, we do all the time. I know we do some mystery boxes stuff with Fugitive Toys. They're a long time Funko customer. They bring out their mystery boxes on whatnot on that, and they got those rare pops that you don't see very often that they're bringing out because they had them and they collected them and they sold them, and at a certain point they probably just said, you know what, we're putting some of these in the back. We're keeping, a group of these in the back and not selling them. I mean, I think anyone that does that, I remember, even though they're not as crazy as that price-wise, but even stuff like Family Guy, those were on clearance. I remember getting on Gemini collectibles, and it was clearance for the 6-pack. I was like, I'll pay $30 for the 6-pack or something like that, $30-$40. I'm like, now they're all $50 pops, and I think that's the fun we've always had with collecting. I think that part is it's kind of went off of that a little bit for a little while here. And I think now it's starting to get back. NFTs is one way it's gone back. Sodas have helped too, having numbered pieces and rarities and things like that, and chases and those kind of pieces. But also, I think, I have the fun thing of I want to go look at Hot Topics clearance, what's buy 2 get 2 free. Is this going to go up later on? You're getting these for $8. Will they become $40 pops later on, or something like that? Yeah, and I think that's the kind of fun of collecting too.
That stuff has happened forever. There's plenty of examples of that.
Sure,
every comment that we see that the Funko is dying stuff. This happened in 2018, 2019 when I was collecting, 2020, and I'm sure that it, some of that Mickey stuff, some of the Disney store stuff that was only available at the Disney store stuff, or Disney stores at the time back in 2011, 2012,
Wreck-It Ralph.
They were clearance. I've heard many stories from many people how they could not get rid of them and they were starting to clearance them out. And I think that's why they kind of started to go away from just the Disney store ones, or the licensing kind of switched at that point, I think maybe too. But, it's the same deal. We're kind of in those times again. You know, and I say this to a lot of people at times too, especially with the limited stuff. Like I said this story a couple times. My biggest regret when I first started back in 2019, it might have been 2020, was the Ant-Man, the Freddy as Ant-Man. Could have bought it for like 200 bucks.
Yeah.
It's gone to 7. And listen, if Funko's dying or if it's losing all its popularity, somebody let me know if I could pick it up for somewhere around there again. Because I think it's maybe a 250 piece, or like the Black Hood Skeletor. Like I'm over here. I agree. Yeah, it's totally dying and everything's going away. So just come my way and I'll take it off your hands for a low price. But
I love that. The people that make those bold claims, or when I worked there, I saw a lot of, well, you've anchored me for the last time. I'm selling my whole collection. I'd be like, I'll buy it from you. You want to sell it? I'll buy it right now. I'll give you Funko money for your Funko stuff, and I'll sit on it until, you know, later on down the road.
You know what's funny about that too? Just a social commentary. Every person that makes that proclamation how it's horrible has Pop in their name. Have you ever noticed that?
Oh yeah.
Like, pretty much all the way across the board. Like, you know, I've never understood that, but you know, God bless and whatever. But one thing I wanted to kind of say about the Mickey and Friends, you know, I'll be curious. I think we're gonna get, so we're gonna, I think, find out maybe our answer if it's a Disney thing or a Funko thing. The thumbs up. You know, whatever. Thank you, thumbs up. However that happened. You know, I don't know if it's a Disney thing or if it's a Funko thing. I think that if they want to sell the most amount of packs and be able to put those out there, I think for sure they know that drop exclusive is going to put up a lot of roadblocks, because it just is. It is a little bit more. It's not that much more complicated. It's not what people don't understand. It's not more complicated to buy packs. To get the packs, you buy them the exact same way. I think that's where a lot of people got confused and didn't want to learn at all about anything and didn't realize you could have got all the packs still and had your chance. You just would have had a harder time, you know, purchasing whatever you needed to get. But you could have even bought the packs and sold the packs and got your USDC that way if you don't want to have to deal with, you know, exchanges and all that kind of thing. But so maybe we got some of those collectors that stayed out, and we'll see if it influxes a little bit. Maybe it's not going to be a drop exclusive. What I would love to see, because listen, it's not hard for me. I understand the process now. I don't like I use Coinbase to make the transfers, and again, I want to keep it kind of higher level because I don't want to get into the weeds with everything. But you know, the fees associated with it can eat you up pretty fast unless you're making one big deposit. Small deposits will eat you alive with that kind of thing. So, but still, for me as a collector, is wanting to see more people involved. I hope it goes wax. But I think we're going to get our answer. I mean, you guys kind of agree with that? We're going to get our answer if it's because I feel like they would want to sell as many packs as possible.
Disney license. I think it's the license with Star Wars.
I think it's got to be
Disney. Yeah. It has to be the licensing.
I think so.
And it might be around. It might be around a variety of different things with the licensing, but it's definitely that Disney aspect now.
Because Star Wars is that way too.
Yeah, I think Star Wars, and one bad thing is like with actual drop marketplace. Sometimes there's like here's especially the lower stuff. If you need like lower stuff to finish your set, there is no lower than 5 cents. That's it.
Right.
So you go over to Atomic Hub and you can get stuff. Now 5 cents isn't much if you think about it. You open a pack. You're probably, like you said, you pulled some bad packs. You're like, oh, wait, I made 55 cents today, you know, by opening these, you know, I lost this much. But I think my problem is like, if you don't want some of the fees, if you want it a little better, it takes a long time for that money to transfer. Things like Robinhood and that too. It might take a while for your bank to get the transfer and wait. So Wax, I'm able to get in there. I can send money right now. Apple Pay, boom, get my Wax money from crypto.com and purchase like within 10 seconds, probably 15 to 10 seconds, where there is no, unless you want to pay a lot of fees or other things associated, it seems like that US. Now, I know the reason why they went there is because it's not a fluctuation of kind of that funds. You're not seeing a flux in that cryptocurrency where you do wax. I've seen it go all kind of. I remember when it was like 33 cents for a while early on. And you know,
wax went up to
like
almost
which
$1.
about thousands of dollars of wax maybe then. And then, you know, and now it's like 60, 70, and you see it. I've seen it over $1 before, I think, for a little while. You know, some craziness and stuff.
Love to see that again.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I think I like having multiple marketplaces though. I think that
same.
Kinda, I think that just you don't have a monopoly on it. People want to sell things for different reasons, and I can compare. Do I want to buy it on, you know, Atomic Hub, or do I want to buy it on this? Maybe my crypto. Maybe I have stuff I'm selling on one, and I have money in the other, and you know, maybe it's a better deal to sell on one or another. Now they've made it so much easier to collect. I think for people though, like through their marketplace, if you aren't familiar with it and you get your funds in there, it just makes it easy to collect. You don't have to like compare and search and find.
Yeah, it's all in one thing, you know. But it's it's kind of part of the learning process, because like we were talking about with Poppin Stock, and it's poppinstock.com. Basically, guys, if you want to check that out, if you're into NFTs at all, go check that website out, because they have a beautiful tool that you can find out which marketplace whatever you're looking to purchase. I do this with the epics, all the other stuff, whatever I can buy on, like commons, uncommons, even rares for the most part. I just buy them on wax, because 90% of the time they're going to be less expensive there. And there's all kinds of features you could do, add to cart. Like it's just easier. I'd rather add 15 things at one time. It shows you which ones are missing, which is a tip that I learned from Sully. Man, I'd love to. We can't deep dive into it because we don't have enough time here. But some of the tricks that you guys can learn makes it so much easier. And I used to have to purchase one at a time, one common at a time, one uncommon at a time.
Yeah.
There's a way to add them to cart now on wax, and it makes things so much more fun. But I think it's by having both markets, I think it makes it available to more people. I think as we move forward a little, like wax has made it really easy to purchase wax. Even wax was a little bit more of a hoop that you had to jump through, and I think that it's even easier to do that now. But it's not as complicated as sometimes maybe other people would make it out to be, or just your bias, yourself, whatever bias that you're saying, no, NFTs are not for me, they're too difficult. But when something comes out that somebody really likes, they're like, how do I do that? Like, is it, and then they start asking the questions. Now is the time to ask the questions before you get to the point of something that you really love comes out, because then at that point, now you're scrambling and trying to figure things out and trying to learn too much at once. And then it becomes overwhelming and, frustrating. But,
I've had more than one person who's been in my streams for years and listening, and then the license that they wanted finally came in, and they'd go, okay, Sully's prepared me for this, and they'll go in there and they'll do their thing, and then they'll hit me up and like, Sully, I know you're going to be pissed at me because you've answered this a million times, but what is this step? What do I have to do here? And I'm like, I'm not mad at all. Like, I'm glad they finally did the license that got you in. And those people that have done that, after that license, they've continued to collect other licenses as well. Once they finally gave it a shot and saw how fun it was to crack the packs and to chase the royalty set and all that stuff, I think they went, oh, why wasn't I doing this the whole time? Like, this is a lot of fun, and that's okay. Everybody has their own path, as long as you're open and willing enough to go, let me learn, let me try, and you're not going to put up that barrier and be, angry, NFTs aren't for me guy. Then cool. I don't care if it takes you 3 years. If we get more and more people that are doing that, we're going to have more and more sellouts, and we're going to see a really good value to our pops, especially those Mickey and Friends ones. It's coming.
And, it's gotten to the point now, like before, like a great example is the Transformers Series 1 set for me. Like the Transformers Series 1 set, all of those redeemables were like $70, $80 plus, all of them, straight across the board. You couldn't pick them up for less than that. So, like me as a collector, then I picked up 2. I had to get the other 2 for my good buddy Josh here. But those never dropped, man. They never came down. Now Series 2 comes out, and like they're $20, $30, super cheap. Even the Grail, full disclosure, I never pulled the Grail. I picked it up $165. I think I paid for it. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I got the deal of a lifetime as far as I'm concerned. I never expected it, because I think the Starscream is better than Optimus. I was lucky enough to pull Optimus in the first one, so I don't have to worry. But I think the Starscream is even better, and it's super inexpensive. But kind of where I'm going with that. So somebody asked us in our video today, like, what are you going to do with all the extras you got? Like for me, I'm not selling. Like we pulled 4. Spoiler alert, guys! Please go watch the video. Still, we pulled 4. Actually, I'm sorry, we pulled 3 because I purchased a the Scooby Ultra, which is I think an amazing pop for $16.
No, you got that cheap?
Shipped, like that's shipped. You know what I mean? Like it's not even that you're not even paying retail for something like that. For me, like I'm not going to sell anything right now. Like I've got to call. So the reason I brought up the Transformer ones, I got multiples of all of those now. I'm not willing to sell them for $20 because quite honestly, I spent more on the packs than what I have in my legendaries. And Scooby Doo's going to end up being the same way. I spent over $300, and with what we got, I actually, I'm probably, if I sold everything, I'd be close to breaking even, but I believe in them. So I'm playing the long game on it because I've invested my money, so like I said, somebody had asked, are you just going to sell? For me, I believe in the NFTs, and you guys might have a different opinion on that, but for me, I'm just going to get those to come in. If it's something I didn't care about at all, like I have sold some of the legendaries that we've pulled, if I don't care at all, or if somebody really needed that, I know they don't really collect NFTs, I don't even mind. I've collected them and then just sent them off to people before too, depending on how things work out. But I don't know if you guys have like a strategy, or if you guys kind of feel the same way. Like I feel like they're definitely underpriced right now. And when they first get in hands, they don't jump up immediately. But I'm playing like the 1 to 2 year game on most of that stuff. I think
most of them. Like we use some for like our mystery box hits and things like that. People like them too. People don't know how to do this. They don't know how to go through the process. They want them. They make fun hits. They're limited pieces. So we'll do them in our mystery boxes and stuff like that. But like I was telling Vince last week, I was like, Vince, you want to go in? We'll buy every single Blitzwing and RC out there that's under like $25.
Yeah.
And then you corner that market like easily. Like it's not
I think
that
people
big
have done that.
If you look at what's out there.
They've tried.
It's really not that many.
Yeah.
We're in a weird place right now. Like when the first Turtles came in, TMNT, the first drop, I looked at what I spent versus what I got out of it, and on paper I made about $2,500. In value because those did really, really well. It was new. It was tough to get the packs. The flippers weren't as active in it, and we've gone through this fluctuation of the values of things, and I think the licenses are good, and I think the numbers are good, but there are a number of people that are in what I call the race to zero on every one of these drops. They're opening packs and trying to flip and make that money as quickly as possible. And then this is so different from what we were used to with Pops because the game is so shortened. The window is so shortened. You're immediately getting your packs. The legendaries and grails already have a value. It's kind of like what the Funko shop used to be, when people would get it and they'd immediately be flipping it on eBay. And then the Pops, there's a little bit of a window. Somebody mentioned it earlier. Why does it take so long? It's because of when they produce them, but now they're getting them out quicker. And during that, I think the mindset is, well, those things have been cheap. Let me just go ahead and sell them on eBay real quick and make my money. But new collectors come in every day. New people get into NFTs every day. Things fluctuate. Like you said earlier, I bought the Matrix Pops for $5 a piece at my comic book store way back in the day. Well, Funko doesn't go and remake those same molds, and new collectors come in, the value goes up. I think we're going to see that. I think the long game is smart, assuming that Funko holds the line and people still collect, which I think will be a thing for a long time. I think we're going to be good. It just shocks me how little some of them go for. Like the Ultra, I could see going down to $20, but some of these legendaries going for 20. I'm like, what? I don't get it at all. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Like you might as well buy a bunch of like at this point. At a certain point, I don't buy packs. I just go in and buy legendaries and hold on to them. And if nothing else, I'm paying for something. I'm getting free shipping on it. So even if I'm paying $25, I'm still getting a pop that's limited, free shipping, all that good stuff. But yeah, it's crazy to see some of these. And that's also, I think, what kind of kills that pack. Like packs won't sell. So these people that are buying packs, eventually it won't sell if stuff keeps low. And I always Vince and I talk about this a lot because we're looking at, sometimes the pack price it varies by a couple things. Of course, the legendaries prices, I think, but also epics. Like if your epics are all higher, like $9 and that, well, people have to pay more. They're going to buy the pack. So they're going to I got a better chance and maybe I can pull a grail or something else out of it. I actually love they did the ultra this time. I think
I do
they'll
too.
actually
I really
get
did.
people in because it's one, Scooby. Everyone loves Scooby. Everyone wants the Scooby Doo. Everyone loves Scooby. Two, it makes people happy. If we've all opened, had our slumps. Vince and I open packs sometimes on PFO with everyone.
Yeah.
We've had bad nights. We've had, where you hit 3 legendaries in one pack or a grail and 2 legendaries or something like that. But then also you have okay, this is my 6th pack and I barely got 3 epics and I haven't hit a legendary or something like that. So, yeah.
Well, I think I mentioned it earlier, and again, this is kind of a 200 level discussion, but I think the digital collecting, the Funko lets you hold as many of their NFTs in that drop wallet without ever charging you a penny for storage. Right. They should, but they don't, thankfully. It's up to them, and if they can figure out a way to gamify holding those, they already have the reward system in place. And most people probably don't know, if you're holding NFTs once a month, they do a drop where they give out a free NFT to everybody who's holding a particular template. They're called bonus rewards. If you go look it up, you'll see them. There's a bunch of really cool Freddy Funkos out there that you've probably never seen before. But if they find other utility, we call it, other benefits, other bonuses, if they eventually do something like the rewards program where every dollar you spend on the NFTs leads to bonus points that you can spend to buy stuff, I think we're going to see all the back catalog start to really raise in value. And so I talk a lot about the diamond hands and the people who are willing to hold those commons and uncommons and rares that they deem to be trash. I laugh when people are like, "Oh, I got was a bunch of trash today." I'm like, "You want to give me your trash? I'll take your trash."
Right. No, I go back. I've gone back and picked up full sets of some of the old stuff, especially the stuff that I like. Because if there is ever any utility that comes along, what gives me that glimmer of hope is what they did with the Fun of May stuff when they put it in, that redeemable ticket. That
cool.
That shows me that, hey, they are paying attention. I think doing the ultra, they're also paying attention. Give something that, hey, I'm not walking out of here completely empty-handed. Listen, I love mystery boxes. Josh loves mystery boxes. We're into the gamble as it is already. I mean, because basically that's kind of what we're doing with these packs. It's the same principle. And really, it's the way that mystery boxes are driven is the same way that I look at the NFT drops. If that grail is an amazing grail that holds from the Batman, the first it was, I think, the second release of the Batman, the Harvey Dent, the Two-Face one.
Oh, I never got that one, but cool pop.
But in an insane value. But those the prices of the packs went absolutely bonkers. I think it's driven more by the chase of the grail than anything. I think when we see like even the Scooby sellout, everybody really liked the Black Knight. I think Scooby was going to sell out regardless because I think it's just an amazing, amazing line. But the last Scooby Grail is still holding tight at like $400 because I'm still trying to pick that up.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping that things go downhill. No, I'm just joking. But at some point, I'm going to hopefully pick that one up. But I think it's the same kind of principle. Like it kind of drives because collectors have gotten a little bit smarter. Like they see, hey, we don't have to buy the packs. I can buy the legendaries for just a little bit more than maybe what a pack's going to cost for the most part. Now that doesn't always hold true, but I think as we keep on moving forward, I think that, the grail is going to kind of drive the packs. I think the license is always one of the most important things.
For sure.
And I think whether it's available if it's a drop exclusive, if it's just, if it's a wax and a drop thing, I think that's going to, kind of make a difference as well. And, I'm very optimistic that they are going to start to do some special stuff. Like I would love to see them make those, like I've heard a million people already say, make those pins, like the coins, make those
coins
right
now.
Yes. Like I've gone back and picked up coins I think I have them from every set at this point. Because I'm hoping one day we're turning those coins in for something. And I've gone back and picked up other stuff.
remember listening to a podcast a while back, and they had Token Head on early on.
Oh yeah,
and they talked about doing something with those coins. They said, "Yeah, we're thinking about doing. We're going to do something with the coin." Nothing yet. So I think if nothing else, it would be cool if it was kind of like the fan reward system, with Funko right now, where you can enter to win something, or maybe turn them in and get a pack, or get something off, or maybe it's a special just NFT that's limited to 10, and the first people that turn in 10 coins get it, or something weird like that. But it's like something to reward, I think, people that have done it and have them in their sets, and they need to do something with them. They're really cool looking. I wish they would actually make them into like a coin or a pin or something like that. I mean, people would love those. I think, people would probably, hey, you got to turn in, you got to pay for the shipping or whatever on it, but turn in 10 of these and get this. Just like back in the day when you turned in 10 Mountain Dew caps or whatever.
UPCs. Yeah. I mean, I think Funko had really good aspirations for what the NFTs would be in a time where NFTs were taking off. Brian Mariotti was on board and was really hyping it up. The stock price actually went up to over $20 shortly after they made the announcement that they were getting NFTs. It was a different time. And since then, NFTs have really trailed off, but they haven't died. There's still a lot going on under the surface. And for some reason, the big news, your regular news stations and online, they're always talking about the death of NFTs, but there's so many of us still involved in this. And I don't think these companies wanted to give up on it. They're going to come back around. Well, Funko, kudos to them for sticking with it and doing all that they've done. And I really think, not financial advice, I have to say that for some weird reason, but I really think that there will be a time where NFTs are going to pick back up and take off, and Funko's going to reap the benefits. And so are all of us who've been collecting, because we're going to be like, man, remember when we were grabbing those commons for 5 cents a piece? Yeah. It's going to be the same story of me buying those Darth Vaders or the Matrix pops, because we know the things that make a good collectible, a good license, good limited quantities, proof of those limited quantities, and the blockchain is made for that. It was designed for this thing, and unlike sports cards, Pokemon, all that stuff, we don't know how many of those cards they're making. No, we know there's one of ones and one of fives and one of tens. And if you look at the prices of I'm going to jump over to basketball because I've been getting back into it. Wemby, that plays for the Spurs, his rookie cards are selling for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Some of the rarer ones. They're not 480 pieces like Minnie Mouse, but Minnie Mouse is pretty low. I could see a time where the NFTs take back off and those actual digital collectibles could carry as much value as the physical pops that we're talking about on our shelves right now that we want to get in hand. It could happen. You got to take the gamble if you want to see that benefit in the long run. But I think everything is there that supports. We're just waiting for it to turn around.
I think a lot of people kind of miss the boat is when they just say you're getting a moving picture or a JPEG is what you're purchasing. It's always been most of the NFTs that have carried value and held value through it's always tied back to some kind of utility. And that utility can be so many things. Yes, it could be a physical item. It could be an experience. It can be a discount. It can be, there's so many things that they could do. And I think that we're all in agreement here. If they tie a little bit more utility, and it doesn't have to just be a physical pop, it could be so many different things that they could do. It could be, there's so many things that they
Funko Fusion,
a skin.
Hey, y'all want to know a little? Y'all want to know a little theory I have brewing? I have only talked about it on my stream once or twice, but there was this coin, this meme coin that was given out called Woofy. I won't go into all the details on that, but a lot of us got a bunch.
Woofy right now,
right? Hold that. Woofy announced that they have a tie-in with a AAA video game, meaning something big like a Fortnite or a Madden or whatever. They made that announcement that they had the tie-in with a AAA game, but they wouldn't name the game. The very next day is when the Funko Fusion trailer went live. Is there a chance that Woofy could actually tie to in-game NFTs with the Funko Fusion game? No other company at that level has been pushing NFTs the way Funko has. Could we see NFTs in Funko Fusion? That would be huge. Imagine being able to
like
play
300 million woofies.
right?
So I hope that that's the case. I couldn't believe how much that stuff was worth. And I learned that from your stream as well.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I had a woofie. I didn't know what a woofie was. I found out, and it's worth like $75 is what it was worth, which I couldn't believe because I didn't have to do anything for it. It was just a combination of wax or what was in your wallet or what I don't even know how it ended up there, to be honest with you, but
just between the wax and holding Funko NFTs in my wallet, I netted 3.5 billion woofie that's currently worth $2,300 for doing nothing. And I told everybody in my stream.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I logged in. I'm like, oh my God, I got like almost $100 in here. This is insane. I think we dipped a little bit. I haven't looked at it, since then. But no, I'm gonna just hold it. I mean, why not?
It's been steadily rising.
Listen, I don't want to be that guy that bought a pizza for 10 Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that story. So I'm just gonna hold on to my woofie, whatever that is. But yeah, I mean, I think that the future can be very bright. I mean, I like the changes that they're making. I like that they're implementing some fun stuff. The Mythic pack was super cool. I seen somebody ask, they said I must have sold it. No, I didn't. And actually, we opened it. The pack was pretty awful other than the Mythic. But hey, I was lucky enough to get a Mythic. I cannot wait to have that thing in hand. And I don't care that I could triple my money on that pack. Yeah. I'm just holding. I cannot wait to see that in hand. And, I feel super fortunate that we were able to get one of those. But I love that they're doing some of that stuff, like kind of what sparked what Josh said with the Ultra. The only thing I've heard anybody complain about the Ultra is that they called it an Ultra, and they felt like that was too like it should have been a lower piece because it was called Ultra. Yeah. I don't know what they wanted it to be called, like maybe like the wooden. The wooden whatever. I thought Ultra like seemed legendary as like legendary, but Ultra is just like you know what I mean. So I was fine with it, but yeah, I love it. I hope they keep implementing like new stuff this year. I hope we see those protectors that they've been kind of teasing. I think that would like take it to the next level. I like the way that they've made the changes with the packaging and that kind of thing. And man, just keep making it fun. I think they're doing a good job of of what they've been, trying to do. You could see that there's an attempt to do something, to do something a little bit different, I think.
Well, and they this year they doubled down and said, we've got a lot of the fun things coming. We're listening. We're making changes. They clearly are in this, and they're going to stay in this because these sellouts have been really good too. To see that 4 or 5 of the last ones have sold out means they're hitting the numbers they want to hit, and that means they're going to keep doing this for the foreseeable future, which that's good. Keep it up, keep rocking it. I'm very happy about that. I mean, for sure it fuels my streams, but also hopefully my pocketbook in the long run. I mean, I'm getting the same feels I did when I first started collecting those limited SDCC pops, and I would get them for $35 and they're now worth $2,000. Could the same thing happen with the NFTs? We'll see.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm playing the long game on most of this stuff. I'm not willing to I'm saying flip it. I mean, I'm flipping it for a loss is maybe part of the reason why I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to hang on to it because I think that like a 5,000 piece Scooby, like I know what the 5,000 piece Pebbles and Bam Bam, or I'm sorry, 8,000. I think it's an 8,000 piece if I remember correctly. Pebbles and Bam Bam. I could be off. I don't know, but regardless, it's close to $100 pop. I can't believe that I got a 5,000
$16
for $16. So I think I'm going to just hang on to mine for now. And I see my wife, like this bugs the heck out of her that they don't change the numbers. And I don't think that they will at this point because they probably would have to try to go back and explain it to everybody else why their numbers are right now. But man, that is one of the biggest complaints I see from a lot of people. And I'm right there with it. I kind of hate it. Like our minis say $9.99. Like we did a short that you have to explain that there's only 445 of these and not 999.
I mean, the royalties are the biggest gap. Almost all the royalties.
Royalties are way off.
Yeah, well, interesting. This was a little project that I did at the beginning.
I won some from my pops actually.
Did you? How funny. I created my own stickers that show the actual numbers. So, to your point, the royalty Freddy from Turtles was said 2160, but only 1,183 were delivered. And the question came up, why did they do that? I think at this point, this is strictly a theory on my part, but having worked there, I kind of have a understanding of how their brain works a little bit. they manufacture the stickers. They get those prepped and the graphics approved and ready to go well before we get to the point where we know how many are going to be distributed. And while I think they actually begin the production run of the pops as the snapshot is occurring, like that day they've got everything ready and they say produce. I think because they've been doing this way for so long and keeping the sticker in line with what the original possible quantity was, I don't think they're going to change.
Right.
It's unfortunate for us who know what that story it tells to somebody that walks up to it at a con or sees it on eBay or whatever. But and I've talked about this a lot on my stream too. When I first started collecting, Hot Topic exclusive stickers was a new thing, right? The Daryl was one of the first ones in the poncho. Yeah. People would literally ask me, what does a Hot Topic exclusive sticker mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you not put that together, right? But eventually the story got out, and now you ask somebody who's been collecting a little while, they know what the silver planet looking Funko sticker means. They know what a shared versus a con sticker means. There's a story that's told that layers on to what's on the sticker. And I think that story will be told when we start looking at things like Minnie and Mickey down the road, where people are like, oh yeah, it says that, but it's actually this.
Right.
People will start to know, and those that lore becomes the fact that, you know, something that all the collectors know, and it won't be as big a deal. In the short run, could be a benefit for us who know what we're looking at.
I think it would be great for them to actually put it on their website, though, those numbers, not just on Discord.
Yeah,
put it where the drops are. Here's the final numbers. Here's the final snapshot.
You have to go search for that.
Like that.
Yeah, if they put it in the Funko app, that would go a long ways. I think if you look on which one is it? HobbyDB, they put it in some of the listings. It'll say actually this many were produced and delivered. So it's starting. The conversation, the story that I always talk about is starting, and I think we'll get there. But in the meantime, I did try this. And just the other day, somebody sent me at a convention, there was one of these pops with this sticker on a shelf. They zoomed in and took a picture and like, look, Sully, it came full circle. I tried to do more, but people didn't want to buy them. So.
Yeah, and see, and you know, and that's part of the thing too. I think people want to look at their shelf and say, you know what I mean? Because I think it's also just a mind thing for collectors that they can say, I have a 440 piece thing, and they like looking because we know there's sticker collectors out there. There's a reason people pay $100 more. I'm the same way. I can listen. I am that person, so I'm saying it right now. But you'll pay $100 more for a con sticker versus a shared sticker. So you know, if those did say, like, I think that is one thing that. Maybe if they could figure that out, but I get what you're saying, and it's also they got to change their process. You know, it's not like it's easy for us to just say, "Hey, just do it this way," but it's a whole process. I'm sure that it's behind the scenes that's already laid out and kind of set in stone. And now to do that, you're talking. They're like, no, I think we'll just keep the stickers that way. But yeah, that is one. That's another like little pet peeve. It's just a little pet peeve. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean. It's not going to turn me away from him, and I'm okay with telling people this story. And I think that's, you know, it maybe will be part of the fun. And really, I don't think the sticker is going to matter when the market just starts to kind of play itself out and seeing where the prices are going to be at. But it is definitely one of my pet peeves as well. I'd love to see it, or at least make it. You know, I listen. It's easy enough. I go on Poppin Duo's website. I pull all the numbers that I need to pull.
Yep.
And, you know, do what I got to do. But yeah, they definitely should make it a little bit easier. But
they're listening to us again. I think to go back to, if we can put out constructive criticism, if we can be positive and say we love collecting and here's some things we'd like to see that would take it and escalate it to the next level, in time, I think they will listen and make changes.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
There's business reasons they do things that we'll never be privy to. There were things I could never tell anybody when I worked there. Like, that's just the way it is internally. They're never going to share the actual numbers of a common that go on shelves at Target. That's just against their business model. They're not going to do it. That makes sense.
Most companies don't. You know, most companies don't. It's not just a Funko thing. It's just most companies won't divulge that for many different reasons. And some of them is, you know, reasons you just won't. Sometimes you just can't know everything. Even though we'd all love to be able to say that we do, but no, sometimes you just can't.
Yeah, I love to theorize. I try to always put this is just a theory, but I know every once in a while somebody sees it and goes, oh, he thinks he knows everything. I hope that's, I don't want people to think that, but it's inevitable. That happens sometimes.
No, theories are fun. You listen, it makes a part of it really, if you don't have any theories, like you're like what we're talking about tonight, like you're playing the long game. You want to see the next two drops that are coming out. Are we gonna see a sell it? That's part of the it's part of the fun of the drops and of the collecting. And I'm looking forward to the months and hopefully years to come of NFTs because I've enjoyed it. And guys, with that, I mean, we're getting up to our 2-hour mark. I hope you guys enjoyed the NFT talk tonight. Listen, most everybody stuck around almost the whole time. So
awesome.
I hope that you guys enjoy it because me and Josh always talk about it. John, I think, also enjoys the NFTs, just not maybe all the nuts and bolts that I know that me and Josh appreciate. So we really do appreciate Sully coming in tonight. Josh, what do you have going on? And then we will see what Sully's got coming up.
Yeah, so we still need to do our Scooby-Doo video. I need to edit it.
So the editing's tough, man.
I opened some up. I still have some other packs though I can open or sell. I haven't decided what I want to do with the other pack, but I gotta edit the video. And then Saturday we have Soda Saturday going on. We got some newer sodas. We got like the Shrek soda and some of the other stuff from Box Lunch exclusives and things like that to open up. So come hang out with us. We'll be dropping our video on Saturday with some Soda Saturday. And then next week, speaking of sodas, we also have our Whatnot show. We'll be doing our Whatnot on Wednesday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out with us. We'll be doing some sodas. So we'll have some soda mystery boxes. We'll have some soda games. So all that kind of good stuff there. And then next week also, we have some more mystery boxes. I know I have at least another Pop King Paul box to open, which was a pretty nice box that I opened if you haven't checked out that video this week. So some good stuff with that. And then Pop Force 1 will be back on my channel next week. So
next Thursday.
Come on over.
Sweet.
Mr. Sully, what do you have coming up that you'd like to share with everyone?
I mean, I'm busy with all those squirrel brain things I got going every day, but I mean, the long and short of it is I'm live 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays on Twitch and YouTube, and we talk. The majority of the conversation is around NFTs, helping educate people, helping you learn, giving you a place to come and ask your questions in a safe environment where people aren't going to make fun of you and call you stupid and diss on you for being into something. We all share a common interest here. So I encourage you to give me a follow on Twitch or YouTube. Come by, watch the streams. I try to make it fun. I give a lot of freebies away. I answer your questions. Tuesdays, always a free NFT, like the one that I have for tonight. Give one away every Tuesday. And then on Fridays, we play a little something called the box game, where I have actual physical prizes like Funko Pops, biddies, stickers, art from some of my friends, and exclusives from some other Funko collectors like my friend Priscilla, Valor and Vellum. We give away a physical prize every Friday. And all you have to do is come by. I don't ask you to spend any money. On Tuesdays, I go live at 11 a.m. Pacific. And on Fridays, usually 2 p.m. Pacific. It fluctuates slightly, but that's usually the times that I go live. Come by for 5 minutes or come by for the whole time. It's totally up to you. Again, it's a safe space. The motto is Nerds Unite. It's about us lifting each other up, treating us each other with respect and kindness. A thing you can't get in a lot of places on the internet. I really kudos to Poppin Duo, Professor Josh, Poppin Stock, and a lot of the other content creators out there that are doing the same thing and keeping it positive. There's just not enough of it in the world. And I'm so glad you guys invited me on tonight and let me be a part of this, because I think your audience and my audience, I think we could have a lot of good friendships there. So if you guys get a chance to come by, please do. I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of sum things up. So I put my money where my mouth is. Like, I have followed Sully for a long time. I listened for free, maybe for 2 or 3 months, and then I was happy to pay for the membership because the value, a lot of people do the same thing with us. Maybe we provide entertainment. I know a lot of people get information from us as well. It's to show the appreciation. Make sure you are giving Sully a follow at minimal on YouTube here. At least let's grow the YouTube side, because Twitch, that thumb. But I mean, could it be any more on cue? At a minimum, follow him here on YouTube. You could still go watch on Twitch as well. Hang out. That stupid. I got to put my hand down. I don't know why it keeps on doing that. Okay. Make sure you guys are following Sully, because truly, if you're into NFTs at all, I don't say this for, again, it's not a paid advertisement. I know that he explains things better than I do. So I'm going to send anybody that wants to find out about NFT stuff, go over to Sully's stream, listen to it for a couple times. You will get more knowledge than you'll know what to do with, because I know I've got more than I have to do with. So I really do appreciate you stopping out here. I think that our audience and your audience are in the exact same. Really, I knew you guys would meld perfectly, because you guys are super positive on your side. We're super positive and encouraging. We've got a lot of new collectors here that we help along with Funko Pops and sodas. Like, we were very early adopters of the sodas as well. Welcomed everybody in that did that. We're welcoming in the NFT people, and I know people will feel the exact same way if they go over to your stream. So we were super glad to have you here tonight. I don't even know what we have coming up this week, because we have not filmed anything. So we have to still, our kids.
What's coming up this week? Post in the chat.
Bree is not going to know either, because we have 0 filmed right now. We've got like 20 boxes. We finally finished all the charity stuff. One thing that we did not touch on, I had it in my extensive notes that I have over here, like my 5 or 6 lines of notes. I wanted to say something about the Extra Life charity as well, just real quickly. I'm going over a couple minutes because I think it's an important. It is for the Children's Miracle Network. If I'm doing this off of memory, and my memory is awful, but I know you have at least one like 24-hour like stream a year, and you're raising money all through the year. You raise a ton of money for that. And I think I said something last year, but I'll say this right now. If you guys are doing, I think you're doing that again, we will be happy to be a part of that 24-hour stream. I think that me and Bree would have done it last year, but I think we were out of town the weekend that you did, but we're around. I would love to be a part of that, because I love what you're doing with that as well. And, you know, charity is very important to all 3 of us that are typically on here. And I know it's a big thing for you as well. So that's just another, like, it was just another check mark that it was a no-brainer to have you. And I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you're following everybody, because I think we're all amazing. Even me, I guess. Whatever. Maybe not. But guys, thank you for joining us tonight. We hope to see you next Thursday. We'll see you guys in the videos, and have a great weekend. Everybody stay safe out there.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
guys.
everyone.
Energy night.